For the first time in 2 years, there is a newly released Pixar film in theaters, and it's also probably the worst film Pixar has made in quite a while. Hi, I'm Ben Friedman, and today I am reviewing the newest released Pixar film, Lightyear, which stars Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear. This film is described as a film that exists within the Toy Story universe. Essentially, this is the movie that Andy from the Toy Story universe saw in 1995 that inspired him to buy the Buzz Lightyear action figure. And just straight off the bat, I really like that premise that Pixar gave us right there. The idea that this is Andy's Star Wars. I mean, I'm a Star Wars nerd, so the idea that they were invoking the Star Wars name to sell this movie got me a little excited. The idea that this is some amazing, fantastical movie that exists within the Toy Story universe, I just thought that was a really cool idea, and I thought it was going to allow for a lot of just insane science fiction that Pixar would be able to go off of. I was essentially hoping for the kickstart of a new sci-fi franchise, and ultimately, I didn't get that in this movie. Lightyear is not a bad movie by any means imaginary. Lightyear is a perfectly competent, well voiced, well directed, really pretty to look at animated film. It's just that this film has no soul. Lightyear is kind of just a nothing. You've seen the cliches of sci-fi in every other movie. This film rips off everything from Star Wars to Star Trek to 2001: A Space Odyssey, elements of Interstellar. Every basically big science fiction film that has ever existed is the conglomeration of this plot in this film. It's all just in there, and it's just this stew that just sits there. There is no original ideas within Lightyear. It's just all retreaded from other better works. And it makes this film feel lifeless. There's nothing exciting, there's nothing new, there's nothing unique that this film has to offer. And it just is such a disappointment watching that. To watch Lightyear and to see a studio like Pixar just put out a film that really just doesn't have anything interesting to bring to the franchise or to the storytelling. It's so lame. And I think what annoyed me the most of when watching this film is I'm watching the film and I don't even think it's impressive on any feat. I think all the voice actors are good. I think Chris Evans makes sense as Buzz Lightyear. I think he's a very charismatic leading man. And I totally understand why he would sign on to a project like Lightyear. It makes all the sense in the world. I don't begrudge him making this film. I think it was a smart career choice for Chris Evans to make Lightyear. And that's the same with basically everyone in this film. It is a bunch of just safe choices. I think everyone is fine. If I had to give one standout of the vocal cast, Taika Waititi is very funny in this film, and he delivered some of the biggest laughs in this film. I never thought that this film was unamusing. I think the laughs are actually its best strength of this movie. I think there are a lot of jokes that really hit well. The issue of it is just you don't really care. You don't care about these characters. You don't care about this story. It just everything is just there. These characters are just a nothingness. So it's just you're solely relying on the fact that Taika Waititi is a funny person, and thus the jokes he makes are funny. But it's not like the character is specifically well written. But I could forgive all of these complaints I had for Lightyear if I just was amazed watching the film, which I never was. The animation to me was fine. In fact, I would probably call it really well animated. The issue is it feels like every other animated Pixar film I've seen. There was no unique style, there was no unique feel, there was nothing interesting in its visual appearance. It is simply Pixar doing space. I wish they had taken visuals that could only have been captured on an animated form and made it unique. Contrast that with other films recently, like Spider-Verse, which is able to tell a really cool multiverse story using the lack of limitations found within animation. If you wanted to even go on a different scale, take other Disney properties like Encanto of last year, which is able to tell such a visual story with a bunch of bright colors and is able to capture the feeling of South America so well. This film just feels like every other film that we've seen. It felt like essentially Star Wars animated. There was nothing unique about its style. It was just there. And that was so disappointing to me when I'm just not interested in what I'm watching. I really wished I was. I think had the visuals just engaged me, I think I would be way more positive on this film, but ultimately I'm left with a movie that I've seen before. I left to go to the bathroom for about 5 minutes. I came back. I knew exactly what was going on. And that's the big plot twist that I missed because I've seen other science fiction movies. Thus, none of it was a surprise to me. And that's just the failure of the script where I can miss scenes and walk out and know exactly what's going on because it's so cliched. Everything is so predictable in this movie. There's nothing special that Lightyear has to offer. Again, it is not a bad film. Lightyear is not a bad film. It is a perfectly enjoyable film. It's just that Lightyear is a completely cynical, unoriginal film. And to me, I find that more offensive than a bad film that tries. I like it when a studio puts risk, takes chances, and fails. There's nothing unique about it, there's nothing special about it. It plays it safe in every retrospect. And in that case, it's nothing to me. It's a film that I walked out and I didn't have any real emotions towards it. And the day after watching it, I barely remember it. It's a film that's so forgettable for me. I just wish that either this film took every chance and was a train wreck or it was great or whatever, but at least it would make me think. At least it would challenge me. At least it would do something to engage me. What I'm left with is Lightyear is a movie that is so bland. It offers nothing new. It's a blank slate. I feel the exact same way I felt about this film leaving the film as I did when it was first announced, where it's just like, oh, okay, that's an idea. It's it's infuriating. I hate when a film doesn't try. And I hate when a film comes out and you know it's going to be successful because it's based on an IP, and that's all the studio cares. The studio did not care about this film. They simply made a film that they knew was going to be successful. And if there's any justice for Lightyear, hope that it is that Pixar is able to make new groundbreaking animated films based on the success of Lightyear. I hope this is able to fund a bunch of other new projects within Pixar that are new, fresh, and original. I hope this is not the trend going forward. I don't want to see sequel after sequel after sequel, especially when it's just so lifeless like this movie is. Lightyear is not a bad movie. Lightyear is a movie that I would describe as fine. I have so little attachment to this movie and I'm going to forget about it. It's not going to be one of my worst of the year. It's not going to be one of my best of the year. It is going to be straight in the middle of just a movie I saw this year. I saw Lightyear. That's all I can really say about this movie. I'm really sad that this movie was not the kickstart of a great science fiction franchise. Ultimately, for being just completely fine, for playing it completely safe down the middle, I'm giving it a review that reflects that. Lightyear is getting 2.5 out of 4 stars for being a movie that is the definition of fine. Let me know though, are you going to check out Lightyear this week? And again, I know for a fact everything I just said does not matter because it matters if kids like this movie. If kids see this movie and it becomes their favorite movie, then be damned anything I just said. I just don't think it's going to hit that marks. But if you see it this week and you really like it, or you go with children and they really like it, let me know. I am curious to see what the response from Lightyear is going to be with the general audience. My name is Ben Friedman here from the Beneverse. If you like this review, remember to like and subscribe to the Beneverse channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.